been growing. You know,
But
it's been
putting them in jail, Winter, and when they get out does not cure them.
no.
You know, and unfortunately, society thinks, sure, you know what, they serve their time now. They're better for this. They can stop. They can't stop. It's a sickness. And, you know, I feel sorry for people who live next to them. You know, they have to go on that list in most cases. But I don't think these people can stop.
And it's growing. It's growing, and it's networking, and that is it. I mean, if you go back 50 years, it wasn't as apparent. But now it is, and it's being coddled.
Would you say that the priests who have molested children are more Satanists than religious people?
Probably not Satanists. They're probably not aware of what they're doing. Priests, I mean, coming from me, to be honest, there is a very small percentage of them that are actually attacking children.
That's true. That is true.
You know, and so it gets into that whole thing where, you know, again, where I talk about the gray forces, where it is on their dial. Where you're getting into it is your guys that are just like 30 to whatever years old, and they're just out there on the streets, and they're just into it, you know, and they are into it. Every week you read that child pornography is discovered here, child pornography, a child was found in a basement. I mean, I can give you horror stories, but you don't need to hear them.
No.
You're fully aware. And it's tragic. And no, I'm not anything about that. And I have tracked those people down, and they need to be tracked down to find these poor children that unfortunately end up dead more than alive.
Do you meet regularly with other Satanists? Do you wear costumes? What's your weekend like?
Well, my weekend is very lively, and I have very good close friends. Usually my friends are not into what I'm into. I don't advertise what I'm into to people because, as I said, I don't look to convert. For me, it was a natural thing, a progression since I was 5 years old. Other people, to avoid getting into long diatribes or discussions, I generally don't go there.
Right.
Yes, in ritual natures, dating from the 80s, I would get together, and I am a member of the Church of Satan. And I knew Anton LaVey when he was alive, and I also knew his daughter, Zena LaVey, and I actually know Zena's son, Stanton LaVey. So there's a family history there. So, yes, there would be costumes, there would be ritual. They're more into the aesthetic of the practice of Satanism. They do not believe that Satan is an actual entity. They're into self-worship. I'm into a little bit of both, whereas I believe there is a theistic power, and I also self-worship as well.
Do you go to ball games, movies?
I love film. I write for Hollywood. I'm a screenwriter. A lot of movie stars are my friends. You know, and I ghostwrite for major motion pictures. So, yeah, Hollywood I love. Games, not so much. I mean, I'm very muscular. I love to work out.
Uh-huh.
I love to get outdoors and bicycle and stuff, but I'm not really big into, you know, following teams and so on and
Okay.
stuff.
But if somebody met you on the street, Winter, they'd have no idea you were a Satanist, would they?
No, absolutely not. No.
The Church of Satan, the masses you attend, and I assume you attend some of those.
Yes.
What do you folks do?
Well, I've written a black mass that was derived from the writings of Trout from 1969. That is huge. It's amazing. I mean, it's long, and there are crowds, and it's just the conduction of the work. It is a reversal of the Christian Mass, and it just is astounding. And there's a whole performance involved. And usually in most of rituals and satanic rites that I have inscribed, there are roles and there are things to be conducted within them. So it's pretty elaborate.
Did you see the movie Eyes Wide Shut?
I have.
Okay, that scene in the mansion where those people were in costume, was that like a black mass?
Absolutely was.
Okay.
And that's that's right along the lines and the pier and the levels where I'm at with.
All right.
Yeah.
Understand. Rosemary's Baby?
Rosemary's Baby was a banner film. That whole context of Polanski involved with Sharon Tate, involved with Charles Manson,
yeah.
involved with Anton LaVey. I mean, it goes full circle. Polanski created that film based upon the sacrifice of a woman, basically, and her child, and then he loses his wife shortly after that film, and then Manson obsesses with the Beatles and goes further with it, with Helter Skelter.
Yeah.
And coming into the film where the actual, I think it's called the Bannister Building, where they filmed Rosemary's Baby, where, John Lennon lived, and then he walked out of that building where he used to live, and then he got shot there, and there's a lot of synchronicities with that circular motion from what generated from Polanski creating that film, Sharon's murder, Anton LaVey playing the role of the devil in that film,
Oh, yeah, that was... Hey, Winter, stay with us. We're going to take this quick break. We're going to come back and talk about how Satanism may be growing worldwide. We'll find out. Winter, you've mentioned a third wave Satanism, which is sweeping over the earth. Explain that for me.
Third wave Satanism is really taking a strong hold. It started in modern times in 1966 with Anton LaVey's inauguration of the Church of Satan. Then in 1988, there was a second wave with the 8/8 celebration, actually 8/8/88 celebration, which intoned a biblical chord in regards to the ministers of the earth being thrown down and Satan taking up their stead. There was a great deception that had taken place. In 999, coming up close to our current time, which has already passed, the third wave began, which is a very serious and fast, hard wind of black magic power, which is engulfing the earth and engulfing humanity. It is coming over them on all different levels, although they are not aware of it. It leads up actually unto May 21st, 2011, and then it will be confirmed after that time. It is just a dark force, and it's increasing. And those that know, like myself, practitioners are aware of it, and even some Christians and other believers, Islamists and others, are fearful of it, and they are aware of it as well.
When we look at things that are happening worldwide, famine, wars, crime, would you say that that's part of Satanism?
It is a part of humanity's change. Those things have always occurred and will occur. It's just a matter for how much longer. As the population explodes, man just generally will turn against man. There's no thinking there. It is a satanic nature that they utilize when that turning begins. I do think that going down the road, eventually as things further deteriorate, there will be a conflict, and the conflict will be of an enormous scale. It's just a matter of time. But there's a lot of things that are at play, even in dealing with satanic singularity, which will be achieved once the mind is actually mapped by current scientists. I actually know a scientist that is working on this. And the crux of satanic singularity is what used to be a computer that would fill into a building now is in the palm of your hand, and soon what is in the palm of your hand will be in your blood. So we will be able to merge with our machines and take ourselves a little further. And at that time as well, it will redefine death. And what I'm talking about is real. I'm not talking about hypotheses or something that is, we can sit here and kind of, gauge and talk about in different, scenarios from things that aren't real into what I know that the lab and the lab work that is going on and what is in the lab today will be in our blood tomorrow. And it's progressing humanity. And so third wave Satanism goes along with that. I just call a spade a spade.
Now,
I see it for what it is.
With this third wave there, how many, this is just a guess, how many members of the Church of Satan or those who practice Satanism in North America, Canada, U.S., what would you think?
100,000.
And that's going up?
Yes. Those are actual people that have come out.
So there's probably twice as many who haven't come out, I would guess.
Many millions of people, that are into it and that are following the ideology but are not, coming forward and saying, I mean, it's obviously, as you know, rare for someone to come out and say, hey, I'm into this kind of thing.
Sure.
Because you get ostracized. I mean,
what do you find is a benefit for you to do this? What's there for you?
I feel admonished for myself. I enjoy embracing what I am. I'm tired of lies. I don't like people that lie to themselves. Our system in America is based on hypocrisy. The gray force law and the police that are running around are more concerned about giving out tickets and getting revenue than they are about finding a murderer, because there's no money in murder.
What if there was no Satan? What if there was no God? It was just all pure energy. A higher power, no doubt. Something created this universe. I'll get into that with you in a second. I want to get your views on that.
Yeah.
But what if we didn't have that? What if it was just all pure energy and we are what we are, a conscious being that can tap into things? Is that possible?
I think it's very possible. And I think that is the crux.
Because I haven't heard one evil thing from you other than you kept the $200 from that little old lady.
Yeah, I mean that's evil, and yeah, it's true. Little prankster things are in my nature.
Sure.
To go out and do direct evils now, but yes, the energy that you're.
I mean, you wouldn't let the air out of somebody's tires, would you?
I tell you this, and I do have a lot of respect for you, but if someone crosses me, or my family, or my friends, they will be punished.
I would do the same thing.
Isn't that ironic? I know.
See, I can't, for example, Winter, somebody goes out and kills a member of my family or my friends.
It's unacceptable.
Some people have said you have to forgive them. I can't.
Can't do it.
Now, does that make me evil?
Yes.